Welcome back. You know, normally it's just Josh and I rambling incoherently, but today we brought a guest. This is Wes from Uponor. And Uponor it's the largest manufacturer of PEX piping
in the world.
On the planet, yes. And PEX is a water supply line, among other things, but mostly you know it as water. It's in your house. You either have copper or you have PEX. And for starters, Wes, what exactly is PEX? You're not the only one. Other people make PEX. You just make it better and more of it, right?
Right.
So what is it? What does it stand for?
It is a cross-linked polyethylene. So basically what you're looking at, we're going to take this material here. It starts off as a PE, right, and now it's going to be cross-linked. So it's going to be a PEX for cross-linking, correct. So think of it this way. We're going to go from a picket fence to a chain link fence. It's going to have nice thermoelastic memory. It helps with our connection. So better to explain that is almost with a plastic solo cup. We're all familiar with the solo cup. You kind of crink it, right?
Yep.
And you tear from top to bottom, right? What we're doing is it's a hydrocarbon that we're looking at here for the PE, right, the polyethylene. Well, we're tearing through the hydrogen-hydrogen bonds, but what's hard to do is going through the carbon-carbon bonds. So in the process, we're getting rid of more of the hydrogen-hydrogen bonds and making more of the carbon-to-carbon bonds, but not all. Because we make more, if it was more carbon-to-carbon bonds, it'd be very brittle and hard to bend.
Okay.
So that gives us our flexibility, but also temperature and pressure ratings for strength. Yep.
And the flexibility is what, I mean, where this stuff really shines is, I mean, imagine you have a three-story house, two-story with a basement. Your plumbing is in the basement. It's going from the basement. It can go all the way up to that upper story bathroom without any connections.
Correct.
And connections, I mean, if you're going to have a leak in your house, it's probably going to be at a connection. And speaking of connections, another feature, a great feature of PEX, are the connections. Show us how those work.
Right. So when you're looking at a connection, this is very easy to make, right? We'll make one for you, but I just want to show you the three components. One, we're going to have the fitting itself, then we're going to have the expanding ring, and then also you're going to have the tubing itself. And the ring and the tubing are made out of the same material. So I'll demonstrate right here. If I take my tubing itself, I'll take my expanding ring. This ring has a chamfered edge and mechanical stop. It can only go on one way.
And then it stops, so you know exactly how far it goes.
So positioning is perfect, yep. I square cut the tubing, I put that ring on, I take my tool, my expander tool, and I go ahead and make the expansion.
Is this a proprietary tool?
This comes from Milwaukee.
Okay.
This is a Milwaukee tool. Yep.
Just out of curiosity, what does that thing cost?
Typically, it's about $3.99. You'll get the tool itself, 3 heads, 2 batteries, and also a charger. So then,
so that's stretched the ring
fully
and
expand
the tube,
it.
right?
Yeah. Then I'm going to take my fitting and see how the fitting won't go in because it's going to come back that fast. Zero problem taking the expander again and widening it.
Okay. So you can just you can do that as many times as it takes.
many times you want. Right. So now here it goes all the way down. Give it a few seconds. It's going to go ahead and get tighter and tighter because of that thermoelastic memory. Now the fitting itself is actually larger than the inside diameter of our tubing, so it's going to want to come back and get tighter and tighter. So when we make this connection, this is the weakest it's ever going to be. It's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger from this point on. The other thing that's nice is about our fitting is that if it's a 90 or a T, so you're coming off a T and a branch, then if you need to rotate that a little bit, you still can have that flexibility of moving to turn it. Yep.
Really?
And it will never leak.
Oh, really? So once it's on, you can still turn it. Oh, I did not know that. Interesting.
And the other thing, Wes, there's a misunderstanding, I think, sometimes if you can explain the sizes. Some people are like, well, the fitting's smaller. Am I going to get less flow with the water?
Right.
How does that work with the sizing and everything?
It depends, right? So here's what I'm saying. It depends about what fitting you're going to use. Our fitting is an ASTM standard F1960 fitting, which means cold expansion. Our fitting is actually larger than the tubing itself. You must expand, okay, in order to get it in.
And your fittings you can't just take any other PEX product and use their fittings on your product.
Unfortunately, or say fortunately, you can. They're all SDR9.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but the warranty is going to be effective at that point too.
Right.
That's a good point.
And you won't find this product this is a plumbing supply product. You won't find this in a box store.
Okay. But there's also the great thing you think about. If you're using a plumber, you want to know what's going in your house at the end of the day.
Right.
You know, and be educated on the product. You're the person paying for it.
Yep.
So like we were talking about the size of the fitting itself, this fitting right here has to be a polymer fitting. It's not our fitting. This is an F2159 fitting. This one you can
That one's not yours.
That's not ours.
Right.
You can dry fit this one, and the opening's no larger than the size of a large drinking straw.
Okay.
That's it. So you can compare the two and see the flow difference compared. That's their half inch, this is our half inch.
Okay.
So like for like, believe it or not.
Yeah, yours is a lot larger. I can see that. Also, I noticed the crimping ring on there.
Right.
You know, yours has the memory sucking it or wanting to go back. With this one, it's crimped on, so they understand. I mean, that's constantly you're crimping it, trying to hold that ring on.
Right. There's a couple things that you have to consider here. Is that this crimp ring, they also have a clamp that they use also.
Right.
That tool must be calibrated each time. Our tool
I'm sure
doesn't
they do that
require.
every time.
Oh, every time, I'm sure, right? And then you have to think about the positioning of the ring, over the
where?
barbs. And there's nothing to state that.
Oh, interesting.
Right.
Where
So you
yours
do that.
fit on and then they stop because it's got the
The mechanical stuff.
stuff.
You can't.
So yeah, you don't know
can't
where on
control
the
it.
barbs it goes. And
Correct.
there probably is a right and wrong way to do it.
Oh, of course. And then once they crimp it, there's another gauge called a go no go gauge. Whether they made a proper connection or not. Well, we really don't know that because a lot of times it's almost like when they cut copper, are you reaming each time?
Sure.
Are you using a gauge each time?
Right.
The sad part also, if you have to look at, is this can be dry fit. So if they miss a crimp, it could
Pressurize.
So you put it on
Right.
there, I suppose. Yeah.
Right. This is a visual inspection.
if you're doing 40.
So once it's on, you're done.
You're done.
This is a two-step. You got to make sure that's
Yeah.
crimped properly.
Well,
and you
almost,
got to make sure it's crimped.
right.
Yeah.
Almost three-step if
Right.
you're looking at calibrating the tool.
Interesting. So, and another thing, the reason this big contraption is here, the other cool thing about this product, the Uponor product, is these fittings that we're talking about are just incredibly strong. And we got this system, so what we're going to do, this system is going to do two things. It's going to show us how well these fittings hold, and it's going to show the resilience. And we talked about memory a little bit. This is going to blow your mind. What the memory, the stuff really wants to come back to the exact shape that it was manufactured in. So we're going to stretch this piece, and we're going to pull them apart. They're actually pulled by the fittings, right?
Right. So what we've done is we actually put two metal adapters on. We have our PEX tubing in between with, of course, our expanding rings. Put these caps on just so it'll stay nice and tight in this apparatus here. And now we're going to go ahead and stretch it out.
Folks, this is amazing. If you guys could actually look at this and see it in person, it's actually showing the strength and how strong those the sleeves or what are
expanding rings.
The expanding rings are just on the fitting. There's nothing screwed together here.
Yep. And notice that the connections are not budging whatsoever.
Right.
And you can see the tubing itself is starting to
That's
taffy.
crazy.
Wow.
So I would imagine this property, the fact that it can distort like this, it's better with, if it freezes, we're here in Minnesota, so we have freezing pipe issues. Will this hold up better than copper as far as, if the heat goes out and you're out of
It's the
town or
last
something?
thing to freeze in a structure. So when you're looking at PEX tubing, our PEX tubing, we can expand up to 300% of its size. So this half-inch tubing will actually grow all the way out to 1.5 inches.
Wow, yes, I guess you got one right there.
And we can take a heat gun, heat it back up, and it'll go clear. That's its amorphic state, the state it was born in, and it'll go right back to its normal shape and size, and we can put it right back into service.
Let's see it.
All right. And there you have it.
Holy cow. Now that's amazing. Now this will turn back white.
Once it
right?
cools, right.
Okay,
Once it
on
cools.
it. So, so is it weak at this point?
Not at all. A lot of people think it's weak at this point, but we can take it, we can twist it, it can keep coming
crazy.
back. If I held in this position and it cooled, I can then heat it back up. It'll go right back to
And you can just do that, because this stuff really has an unbelievable memory.
Oh, yeah.
So when it's produced, no matter what you do to it, it wants to go back to that original
Right. All
shape.
PEX is not the same.
That is crazy.
Yep.
It's like magic tricks, but it's real.
Can you do this with all PEX?
You can heat it up,
Yeah.
right? You can kink them, you can heat them,
Right.
but you won't get the same results. You end up with
Okay.
two pieces.
Is there different kinds of PEX? Like
Yes, there's three types of PEX. There's a PEX A, which we are, angle
All right.
method PEX. It's a process, not a grade. And there's a PEX B, which
it's
is a
how they're made. They're
Cylon,
made a little
Right,
different?
like a chemical.
Okay.
And then there's a PEX C, which is also going to be a electron beam, okay, type of, cross-linking.
Okay.
So these are going to
I'll
be
take
types.
your word for that one.
Right, types, but not grades.
Okay,
Yep.
gotcha. Interesting. But they do have different properties.
Without question.
All right.
Without question. Most flexible we are.
So Wes, one last question. Sure. I mean, what lengths do these come in? 10s, 12s, 16s, 20 feet?
You can do 20 footers, but we have rolls of 1,000 footers.
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet.
Wow.
I could go from here to home almost with that roll.
Almost go from your basement to your upper floor.
We might have to get a line from your house to my house.
Well, you guys were on the tour, so you saw the big rolls.
Yeah,
that's almost
incredible.
6 miles of
The
tubing.
plant was really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
in.
I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Wes. Amazing
Always,
product, you guys.
always.
Uponor
Thank you
PEX,
again.
guys. Impressive stuff. Stay tuned for next time.